Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the Real Talk Studios right here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I'm Matt Tsutsuti. This is the Penguin Lover, Mikey Plankoff. Over here is the Darkwing Brian Daly, who I scared the shit out of about 2 seconds ago.
Jesus.
We got the sign guy behind the board today, Mr. Ryan Brodo, as always. And, of course, good old Wrecking Ball right on over here, sitting in the chair. And the Hockey Happy Hour is brought to you by Skizano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.skizanosports.com.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I don't know why I didn't expect it, but I didn't.
It's been a while, Last week he came back, and, we're still trying to recover.
He's still shell-shocked.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you need, right?
Oh, man. That woke me up a little bit.
Good.
Oh, good. Good.
We need it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, besides Brian getting his wake-up call for the evening, lots of stuff happening, obviously. The All-Star break is officially in effect, and all of our teams are currently resting unless they got called for the All-Star break, which is a pretty decent amount of your team, I would assume.
Yeah, it's two players, so.
Yeah. It's just the usual suspect for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you there, Brian? Who you got at the All-Star game?
Gibby. That was it.
All right, then. There you go.
Yeah.
Our lone rep.
We got Crosby, and the last man in was Letang, so we got two representatives this year.
And you're thinking it would be Malkin. But anyway, so with that being said, folks, Flyers making a bit of an interesting maneuver, sending down Carter Hart, obviously. And the poll question that we had for today was simply, should the Flyers make a trade during the break, or should the Flyers wait till the deadline to do something? You figured a move was going to happen somewhere down the line. This wasn't exactly the move that I was thinking was going to happen, but...
Surprise!
But surprise, it did happen. And here's the thing, though. I actually have a theory as to why this is happening, because a certain somebody named Anthony Stolarz got brought up. Well, here's my thinking. It would make sense for them to send Carter down and bring Stoley up, for my opinion, to possibly see if he's trade bait. I mean, when you think about it, if you could package a decent goalie with some good upside to him as a possible backup for you, with potential to possibly be a starter, because really Stoley's never really had a full year under his belt, so you don't really know what he's capable of. But at the end of the day, though, he has proven he can play at the NHL level. It's not that he can't. So in a way, it makes sense if you're Chuck Fletcher, because you say, okay, we know we want to stick with Hart, so we'll send him down. Send him down, we bring up Stoley. Want to know why? Because that's competition for Hart. And that's somebody we have to pay money to when we really have no intention of sticking with him, because we're pretty much getting married to Hart here. So with that being said, you want to try and get something for him while you can. It would make sense. Bring him up, throw him out there, see if he's got some value to him, and maybe you can package him in with somebody, get a little something back, throw a little bit more weight into a deal for a team that may need a backup goalie, or may possibly need somebody so they can have as maybe a third stringer. You never know. There's options out there. Trade deadline is coming up. I'm thinking that that's mainly the major reason why Chuck's doing this. In my personal opinion, I think that's what he's looking for. If not for trade deadline, maybe even off season, to make a deal involving Stolarz and another player or possibly pick.
It's just weird, though, because when you look at this team with Hart starting now, you question yourself as to why this is even being brought up. And the whole team has just looked better. They've played better, with him in the net. And it's just it's a questioning call. It's like, okay, so we really dropping him down for Stolarz? But I really don't think that's what this situation is. I think it's more of a have him play a couple games in the AHL while,
it's conditioning.
While the All-Star break's going on. So
letting him
going.
take his next steps in development, continuing to play, not taking that rest.
Yeah.
I heard a theory that he's also going to be visiting his family while he's there too. So
okay,
it could be a bunch of different things. But, I mean, I kind of didn't think your theory was going to go that way. And I kind of like that theory because it makes sense. Because Stolarz is an NHL caliber goalie, and right now, where is he going to play?
Yeah,
He's just
there's
he's
no
stuck in
room.
the AHL.
Yeah, there's no room
Yeah,
for him
we
here,
already have
along with the 7 other goalies on the roster.
we
Right.
already have 3 NHL caliber goalies right now on the roster. You know, you have technically a lot more, but at the end of the day, the 3 you have is McKenna. Although McKenna's really just a Band-Aid over cancer, really, at the end of the day. Carter Hart, who is definitely going to be the major player.
He's already solidified himself as the starting goaltender of his team. So.
And you have Stolarz, who's proven himself. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, who's going to be the odd man out here? It's
Yeah.
going to be Stolarz because, in my opinion, if you give Stoli a good year, I'm pretty sure he could prove that he is capable of possibly being a starter in the league.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen an actual year from him as a backup/starter tandem. We haven't seen that from him because he's only ever been brought in when it was an emergency situation and he had to come in. Not necessarily, even this past season, he was brought in at the last minute to fill in holes.
Yeah.
It's like Lyon. He's only ever been used
I
to
was
fill a
just gonna
body.
say
And
his
Lyon's
name,
another guy, too, who also proved that he isn't a bad player at all at the NHL level. I think he's definitely more of a backup, though, in my opinion. But still, though, you have options. And I think that it's not a bad idea that Fletcher would say, you know what? We need to see if we can get some value for Stolarz, maybe even a Lyon going down the line. If maybe not Lyon, because maybe you want Lyon to be the backup to a Carter Hart that is your starter, because both of them are young enough to possibly be there for a little while. But you could get a Stolarz and you could say, hey, listen, this kid's got talent. He has the ability. He's proven it this year. He still has plenty more potential left in him. Yeah, he had an injury or two, but it really hasn't affected his play. And honestly, it hasn't. I mean, from when he's been playing, again, it's always been defense that's been the primary issue.
Yeah.
That's the big usual suspect of goaltenders not performing at a high level on the Flyers. It's usually not their fault 99.9% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, Carter Hart's only going to be down for maybe a week. Maybe.
Yeah, but don't be surprised if Stoli stays up, though. You know, just don't be too surprised if they do that. I'm only saying just because, again, if you're going to go that Carter Hart route, well, then there's really no need to keep Stoli here if you're only going to put him in a backup role when he's not really touted as a backup goalie. And even if he pans out just to be a backup goalie, think of it this way. You still have the ability to say, well, he has the potential to be a starting goalie. You can still say that to a team right now. You may not be able to say that 2-3 years from now.
Yeah.
Then they'll know for a fact he's just a backup at the end of the day. Lyon, you kind of already know what you got with him.
Yeah.
I think you know what you're getting with Carter Hart right now, too.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
True, yeah.
that's why you send him back down during the All-Star break. You just want him to keep playing. You don't want him to sit up here and get cold. And
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what you're going to do because going forward, there's no doubt that he has to be your starting goaltender. And, obviously, the situation that's going to be hard is when, a guy like Noivy gets healthy or a guy like Brian Elliott when he gets healthy. And then you have Stolarz, you have Lyons, you have McKenna.
it's all right. You don't have to worry about that for too long because Neuwirth and Elliott will be
they're walking.
hurt.
Yeah,
a week,
but
a week later.
it's just the rest of the season. It's like, all right, so what do we do for these guys now? I mean, you're going to have the cap of Elliott sitting on the bench every week, or you're going to have him where if you're starting Carter
and that's
Hart,
the thing. And that's the thing. And this is where I think it gets a little tricky with Carter. When Elliott comes back, you have $4.5 million invested into Brian Elliott.
Yeah,
You're not even paying Carter Hart $1 million yet.
exactly.
Maybe you platoon them, where Carter's playing one game, Elliott plays two, Carter plays 2 or 3 in a row,
Yeah.
and then you bring Elliott back in.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
think
a
that's
good
the only way it's
situation to
gonna work.
have. It's a good situation to have. It's just a shame that the team is down where they are in the
Yeah, but
standings.
you
So
also
it's
like you just said, you don't want that back. You don't want your backup goalie to be making $4.5 million.
exactly.
No.
You want him to play every day.
That's a big
definitely
issue.
Not. Definitely not. But again, though, that's a minor issue because by the end of this year, it won't even be a factor anymore because Elliott's leaving, so's Neuwirth. Fletcher is not going to re-sign them too. Obviously, especially not Neuwirth.
So then, if you know that that's going to happen, why not trade one of them now?
Well,
You
that's
know.
not.
And I think
and
that's
that's
what
another
Matt's
thing
theory
too.
is.
That's another thing too. That may be a possibility coming down the line as well.
Well,
I mean,
think a playoff team that's looking for a push. I mean, you're going to get a healthy Elliott if you go and trade for him
and
during
that's
that time.
and that's another thing of again. I say with Stolarz coming up, it's like, don't be surprised if he does find that option of saying, hey, you know what? You could take Stoli from us because here's the thing. Even though he had a couple of injuries in his past, he's a lot younger with a lot more upside. Neuwirth always gets hurt with no upside, and he's just a backup goalie. Elliott is obviously in the twilight of his career. You may get a good Elliott, you may get a bad Elliott. Depends on your defense too. So at the end of the day, there's a little bit more of a pitfall there with those two. Maybe not necessarily with Stoli. You may be able to tempt somebody with a trade and may get something back for him in return if you package him with a player and you do it well.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm not saying that that's
his,
exactly happening, but don't be surprised if that theory gets thrown around possibly.
Yeah.
To help this goalie situation right now, if I'm Chuck Fletcher, I'm going to do exactly with Michael Neuwirth what I did with Dale Weiss and just throw him on waivers and hope somebody claims him. If not, you're playing the AHL the rest of the contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're not coming back.
It's hard when a guy's been just made of glass, and he's almost – it's not that he's been useless. I mean, the guy's won some key games in his career here, and it's just like, it's just – it's hard when you got – that cap situation, and it's
it is.
What do you do when exactly? Obviously Hart has worked out of the most out of any goalie this year on the Flyers, and it's like, you're not even paying him $1 million. I think he's just under $1 million.
I think he's got the max entry level, which is I think like 925.
Yeah,
or
something like that. Yeah.
And so you're not even paying him that, but yet you got these guys ahead of him, and it's like, okay, well, we have $6 million in cap that we're just gonna bench and play in the AHL. It's hard. I think
it is very hard. And it's a good situation to have, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, it's a good situation to have in the sense that you have technically 3 starting goalies. I know Noivey's more of he's been a career backup, but he obviously has that potential too. But in all reality, like I said, it's a good carousel to have 3 potential starting goalies with Stolarz and Lyons if anybody does go down. But it's just it's a hard situation with the cap. But going to what Brian said real quick with Noivey, if you throw him on waivers, I don't think there's a doubt that somebody picks him up.
With that too, also think about this. There's also another goalie in Felix Sandstrom who's been sitting down in the Phantoms too. So it's like you have 4 goalies. One you don't really know anything about, and Felix
all under
Sandstrom,
24.
And Felix Sandstrom can show up out of nowhere if an emergency situation came up, God forbid, again.
Yeah.
And we had to go get another one of our goalies from the Phantoms, and Sandstrom shows up and just absolutely performs lights out. Then it's like, well, shit, now we got 4. Now we got to choose
I do want to see him
know?
play a game because that would break the record for most starting goalies in a season. So
true.
I think that would be pretty interesting. Give the kid a chance. I mean, he's been playing down there for a couple of years now, and
the Flyers.
He's another guy that's supposed to be a stud. So it's like,
well, again, that was all Hexy's picks in his first couple of years.
Yeah.
He wound up getting Hart. He wound up getting Sandstrom.
He got Hart in a 3rd round, who was projected to be a 1st-round pick.
Yeah, so, I mean, he got a lot of major star goalies and D-men, which actually not all of them. Some of them were Paul Holmgren picks. Not all of them, though. But mostly overall, though, these picks have been panning out pretty well when it comes to the goaltending side of things. So that's a good thing.
Listen, it's a very good thing.
Unfortunately, we still have to get hampered with dealing
with the
gap.
You're drafting 4 goalies in the last 4 years, too,
But here's the thing, though.
But it's a good situation.
But that's the thing, though. I would rather take the 4 goalies and overpopulate the Phantoms with potential starting goaltenders than pick one guy, take a gamble, and he's an absolute fucking bust. The Flyers did it in 2000, and it was an absolute miserable experience.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't all get lucky and wind up picking fucking Marc-Andre Fleury out of fucking nowhere. Of course.
Well, one day. It was good to be horrible, so I'm telling you, it was a very good time to be bad.
All right, I'm going to jump on Facebook real quick and get to some of these comments here. All right, we got Rob Povia. Pove, we miss you, brother. He says, have a great show.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Our favorite David Raska chimes in. What's up, buddy? Says, what's up, boys? Are the Ducks going to make another trade this All-Star break?
Maybe ship somebody out. I don't know if they're bringing people in this season. But
they gotta.
We'll see. I mean, they're still a playoff team.
By the way, can I say Daniel Sprong trade has been awesome so far.
It's worked out for both of us, really. I mean, Sprong's scored his 8th goal last night, so I mean,
he was the only goal he scored last night too.
Yeah, I mean, the kid's he's
good.
I
like
told
him.
you there was just no room for him. He was a 4th line guy in Pittsburgh. He's a 2nd line guy in Anaheim. It worked out, like I said, and Pettersson's a guy that we needed, and it's worked out for both of us.
Yep.
So.
Frank Vespi, Ayo, sorry to bother you at work.
It's
Sup,
okay.
hashtag banana heads. Are you gonna have hashtag Ryan's Jello tonight?
Ah,
Oh no.
I think that is a hashtag. I did put that in the email. Did that make it to the Facebook there, Mr. Brodo?
No.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'll
No.
just keep putting it in every week until he makes a mistake and he accidentally puts it in.
Continues to say, I'm very skeptical of the Flyers' second half moves. Second half moves will be made, just figuring out when and who will be involved.
Well, I mean, that in a way, I think that's pretty much where Fletcher's at right now. He's just looking at what we have. He's looking at who has value and who needs to go,
Yeah,
and who needs to stay.
Guy's been here for
at this point
couple
in
weeks
time,
at
you
this
know,
point,
like
so.
because I mean, honestly, that's what any smart GM would do right now is to say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything crazy right now because if you start doing crazy fucking moves that don't pan out, then your ass is the one getting
Yeah.
fired.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you do the smart thing and just like. We'll see what we got here. As he said it before, there are all the pieces here to be successful, and he's right. He's absolutely 100%
There is.
right.
I mean, this
but
team just plummeted this
yeah,
year.
it's not been a really strong year at all, and the goaltending problem didn't help nothing.
Well,
Injuries
yeah.
didn't help nothing, and on
It's-
top of it too, a lackluster defense has just killed the Flyers
Yeah,
this
a
year.
lot of
all-
bad-
Yeah,
all time.
you don't.
It's
that's-
bad special teams
You're preaching
too.
to
I
the
mean,
choir on lackluster defense.
Yeah.
That's the other problem. I think in both categories on special teams, they're bottom 25. So I mean,
Oh, absolutely. It's
yeah,
been fucking atrocious. Absolutely terrible.
That's a major concern, you know. And we keep preaching to the choir here, and it's just a.
But that's
you
the
know.
thing, though. I mean, all of this stuff, if it's not addressed by the trade deadline, even if the Flyers are sellers by the trade deadline, which if they keep this shit up, they most likely will.
Which isn't
Realistically,
necessarily a bad thing.
No,
Which
but-
isn't. I'm not saying it is.
but
at
realistically,
the same
right
time-
now they're 7 games behind the Penguins, which is only 4 points away from the bottom wild card
Which-
right now. So I mean, it's a surprise considering where they've been all season.
And we will
so.
be checking the NHL standings a little
Yeah.
bit later on in the show just to see where everybody's at. We'll take a look at where the playoffs would technically be if they were to start the All-Star break. If we decided to have a lockout shortened year.
I don't like my position right now. Let's just say that.
Did you draw someone
Again.
you didn't like?
Tampa Bay.
Ooh,
I'm just saying
there
it
you
right
go.
now. Tampa Bay right now if the season were to end.
Before I continue on, if things
Sure.
go the way they continue to go right now, we won't be seeing the playoffs.
Yeah. Very, very surprising in the standings. Though.
like I
I
said,
do want
we-
to save it for later, but there is some big surprises and big
Eh.
power moves by a certain
But
team.
again, it's
Yeah.
only the first half. Second half.
that team on, a little north of us, right?
A little
About 2
north.
hours.
Yeah.
But I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I'm just saying though, guys. It's only the first half. Second half, a lot
Well-
of things can happen. A team could take a big old shit in the second half and miss
Yeah.
the playoffs. It's happened
I think
before.
the team up
it can
north
happen
is
again.
We're
gonna keep
we're
rolling.
taking a big old dump right now.
Big old duker.
Just leaving it right in the middle
Dropping
of the
some
ring.
massive heat. All right, so Frank Vespi continues to say, I doubt sending Hart down was a bit of a worried knee-jerk reaction. Looks like seasoning him, then keeping him in Lehigh Valley for an extended period of time.
Pretty
which
much.
is exactly what it was. Don Hartle, Banana Heads, welcome back.
Yeah.
Don, thanks for tuning in, brother. So David Raska, this is angled a little more towards me, but I would definitely want to get your guys' opinions on this too.
Sure.
Especially with the way they've been playing lately. Who should the Ducks get, and is Randy Carlyle finally going to be fired?
Yes.
I think yeah.
I think
I
he
mean-
finishes out the year regardless. But after this year, I think he's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go from, one of the best teams in the NHL at the point of the season to losing 12 games in a row. And
You know,
and now we're
I,
losing. It's our 7th home loss in a row.
Yeah, that's-
I'll be
you can't
honest
be
with you
doing that.
guys.
Playing like shit.
I know the Flyers fans have been begging and clamoring to see Joe Quenneville come to Philadelphia. I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up in Anaheim.
I would like to see Elaine Vigneault in Anaheim.
But I'm just
I know
don't
you
get
liked
me
him,
wrong.
and you liked him for a potential spot here, too.
Yeah.
So.
well,
Listen,
Vigneault is a
it's
good
I
coach.
love Quenneville. I love what he did with Chicago with that terrible team turning them around. But this team doesn't need a turnaround. This team needs a swift kick in the ass. And not that they can't get that from Joel Quenneville,
Yeah.
but I like Elaine Vigneault's
Trade
system.
for Torts.
trade coaches. Put Randy Carlyle on
Is
the
that
Blue
can-
Jackets.
I know they can do that in the NBA, but can they do that in the NHL?
I didn't even know they could trade coaches in the NBA. That is fascinating.
The Celtics did it with Doc Rivers. They traded him to L.A.
Good
That's
God.
when that's how he
They
became the
did.
Clippers fan or coach.
The coach, yeah.
Boy, man, there was a long time when the Sixers sucked. They probably should have considered doing that.
So my answer to the questions is: should Carlisle be fired? Absolutely. Do it like 2 weeks ago. And as far as who the Ducks should get, they need secondary scoring so bad.
Yeah, the team's. I think they're just over 2 goals per game this year, and it's bad.
It's been all year too. Papa Klinkoff, what's up? He says, yo, guys. Tom Arnone, what's up, my boys? Jeff
Yo.
Tope.
Sorry. I was reading a comment on the tube that we got to get to also.
Jeff Tope, and this centers around Sam Moran. Does Sam
Okay.
Moran get NHL time when healthy, or is he Phantoms bound?
It might be worth a try.
Honestly,
I think he's
Get his-
NHL bound.
Get his feet wet.
he's
know?
probably NHL bound, but here's the thing. He might be NHL bound for different reasons. I don't want to admit this, but he might, if he doesn't really tickle Chuck Fletcher's fancy, if you will, Fletcher might be thinking about parting ways with him, you know? Because that's been talked about for quite some time with Sam Moran at this point. I don't want to see it happen because I know Moran's got some grit to him, and the Flyers do need some grit in their life because sometimes they have a snarl
They need that
and then they
stand-up,
disappear.
strong
you know?
defenseman.
And he could definitely fit the bill there, and he could play a good hockey game because his reputation doesn't precede him where he'll get thrown in the box every 5 minutes. But
he's not afraid to drop the gloves. He's a big body. He has some massive offensive upside on the power play. There's no reason why he – plus, he should have been on this team 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he never should have been sent back down.
Well, to be fair, though, that wasn't all the fault of Hexy. It was, again, those contracts that were killing us at the end of the day. And then when he did come up for that short period, it wasn't clicking at that time, so he got sent back down. But it was a very small palette of work, so it's no way to judge anybody.
And last but certainly not least, Jake Frail. What's up, boys? Jake, what's going on, brother?
What up, dude? Yeah, we got a couple comments here on the tube. Rosca's, asked the same question here as he did on Facebook about who should the Ducks
Secondary scoring.
He's also happy to see that his Rams are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And likes to see how the Rams defense is going to do against the Patriots. But
TB12 is going to pick him apart. That's what he does.
It's going to be a high-scoring game. So let's hope anyway.
That's what he does.
Let's hope the Rams, come out on top this
There's
year.
a reason he's on the GOAT wall.
It's a disgrace.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
That guy.
Okay. I was wondering who you were talking about there.
We got old guy Dean Senzi here on the YouTube as well.
What up, Dean?
Hey, Dean.
Moving Hart to the minors is a shake-up move. He says this is a spark response by the players to play better, or they will be next. Hart has played great, but has no defensive support, which is true.
He's spot on, but it's.
I don't think it's.
They're not playing again until Monday.
Exactly. I was gonna say we're on our bye week technically.
And we don't. We're on our bye week as soon as the All-Star break is over. We don't play again until Saturday.
Yeah,
next Saturday.
We play the 28th. I believe we play the Canadians.
We don't play again until February 2nd.
Ugh, that's weird.
No.
Hey, you guys might need that though.
Let me
We
take a
need
look.
something.
also
We need a new
says-
fucking coach.
Also, don't make a move. The
no
break
rest for the
usually
weird
gets
for me.
cold teams to warm up and slow down the teams that are on hot streaks. Hoping this grounds lightning a bit.
Well, the big problem now is that, and this will lead us into the Flyers a little bit. Flyers were winning going into the All-Star break, and that's what concerns me is that at the worst possible time, you have 3 straight wins that you put together. First time in the season, by the way, you get 3 straight wins, and then the All-Star break hits you.
Yeah.
Now, that concerns me because we start right back up on Monday, and if memory serves me right, we are facing a very difficult team the following Monday. Why, yes, we're only facing a Stanley Cup contender in the Winnipeg Jets.
Don't
that
worry, we got
following
them
Monday.
too. We got them too. Our first game back
know
is
what,
against
though?
Winnipeg.
But this is where the Flyers play good. They play good against teams that are, playoff bound, very good Stanley Cup potential teams, and then they play shit teams like the Florida Panthers, and we'll lose to them.
They play up.
True.
So
I mean, here's the thing, though. If anything, it's not a bad thing to face a tough team coming out of the break in some regards. You guys are right. It's that team that kind of gives you that reality check. All right, season's back. Time to get going. Got to be 100%. Because now it's crunch time for the Flyers. The Flyers have to have one of the most spectacular second halves in franchise history for them to actually even be on the bubble to make the playoffs because of how competitive our division really is. And if they can string that together, that will truly be a unbelievable freaking comeback for them, for a team that was in the absolute fucking pits of failure during the entire first half of the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
For them to be able to even get just a sniff close to the fucking playoffs, that would be phenomenal for them to even if they miss by 1 or 2 points, that's an accomplishment in of itself after the first half they had. But It's
Obviously,
not
the goal is to
impossible,
just
you
make
know.
it in, you know.
I
So.
know.
But still, though, it's not impossible for them
I
to
got
do.
stuff.
You know, it's not impossible, but it's very, very challenging for them to do. It would be the same thing with the Penguins if they had a really rough first half. It'd be
Yeah.
the same deal because you still got to fight that uphill battle of dealing with the Devils, the Blue Jackets, the Rangers, the Islanders. You still have one of the worst divisions you could possibly, and the Hurricanes who have come out
Yeah.
of fucking nowhere. You know, so
Yeah, the Hurricanes are a team that is just wow. I mean,
Yeah.
they you know, Nino's already got, I think, 2 goals with them since he's been traded over. So, I mean, he's already been working out great for him. So.
You know, listen, this is what I was saying when we did the premature trade deadline.
Yeah.
Who you go after? You know, he was one of the guys on my list.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why. He's a playmaker.
Mhm.
He can shoot the puck. He can pass the puck. His vision is unreal. The Islanders and Gar Snow were ridiculously stupid for getting rid of him.
oh yeah,
But it worked out in huge favor because Chuck Fletcher was actually the guy who wound up acquiring him.
Yeah.
And, you know, he flourished in Minnesota.
he did.
Yeah.
And
he
I
did,
think
man.
one of the reasons why they got rid of him is not necessarily because of his age or his playing ability. They're right up against the cap, and they need some relief badly.
Oh, yeah.
So they release his $5.25 million contract,
Yeah, which is good.
and Carolina's got the space for it, and they need the help.
Well, that's because you got 2 contracts between Sutter and Parise that are both, you know, $9 million each. And, you know, Parise, I mean, other than this year, I mean, he hasn't really done much. He's been hurt half of his time.
Fucking
and-
Ralph.
What did he say?
But
Fucking Ralph.
What
real
did
quick
he
before we
say?
get to his comment, I saw it too. But
This fucking guy.
got him to sit up.
Frodo's got this face just like, oh, I want to stab him. I want to fucking stab him.
Oh, I want to stab him.
All right, just get to it. Just get to it.
Finish your statement.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
So no, I was just basically saying that, you know, Parise really, for what they're paying him, hasn't really worked out for the contract, and I feel like it was a bad contract for them. So
I mean, I don't necessarily think it was a bad contract at the time he signed it.
Well, at the
he
time
was a
that he
top-
signed it, it
he
was
was a
great.
top 3 player in
Yeah.
the game, and I think he still has that ability to
it's
be
just
a top
he's
player
been
in the game.
hurt.
It's exactly
Can't
it.
stay
He
healthy.
can't
that's
stay healthy.
That's his problem. That's what I'm saying. It's been more of obviously at the time it was a great contract, but now you're looking back at it and he's probably like a 4 or 5
when he's on the
million
ice,
dollar
though, he still plays at
guy. Oh,
that
he's a
level.
great playmaker. Absolutely, the guy could score. He
He's still got
pass, you know.
ability. He's still got that ability to snipe the corner. So David Rascal wants to know Panarin to the Ducks. What do you think?
It's not happening, buddy.
That's not happening.
That's never
You
happening.
can keep wishing, but it's not going to
That is
It's
a
not
pipe
happening.
dream. Pipe dream, my good friend.
The only way I see that happening is if Anaheim is in a top 3 position in the playoffs, and that's not happening.
That's not happening either.
So, Ralph Delvecchio,
Oh boy.
he's a fucking scumbag.
Okay, so please.
Saw the report that Hart got sent down. Wishing it was Drew.
You're so dumb. Dumb. For real. You're
right on cue.
You're so dumb.
Something tells
Come on,
me,
Ralph.
Something-
Get your head out of your ass.
Something tells me Ryan has to use that sound effect a lot. When
No, I
speaking
just
of-
knew he was going to say something stupid.
Oh, okay. But
Did they take some of your brain cells when they shaved your head? Like, seriously.
no, but that's the thing though.
Best
What-
fucking player on the team. Wish he was sent down. Fuck you, Ralph.
Actually,
Come on.
And I think he just tied the record, by the way, for I don't know if it's most, but I think he tied Eric Lindros in All-Star Game appearances. And by the way, in case
He's
anyone
only third in points in the last 10 years, but he fucking sucks, right?
he had a 100-point season last year. Oh, good
Fucking
God
terrible.
almighty.
Fuck you, Ralph.
Oh my God.
Love you, buddy.
Boy, man, it's a great. Well, I'll tell you, man, it'd be real interesting to see how Ralph would run an NHL team.
Ralph, stick to watching the mess
NBA.
of a basketball team you call the Lakers.
That's what happens when Bronny's out, though. That shows how important he is to the team.
Stick to the
my
Lakers.
God. Sometimes I question where Ralphie's loyalties lie. You know, not for the Lakers, because I think he really does have a hard-on for the Lakers.
No, he's got a hard on for LeBron.
Well, okay, but, you know, most people who watch basketball do. But with that being said,
Guilty. I've been a Bron fan since day one. I have the jersey to prove it.
is it a Cavs jersey at
It's
least?
a Cavs medium kid, so
Oh, so it doesn't even fit anymore.
yeah.
But
That's
Show you how
proof.
long he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proof. I mean, yeah, what, 03? He was drafted?
Christ,
Jesus Christ. He's been in the league
that's a
16 years already?
Yep.
good God.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
Good
crazy. Well, he's
God
been in the league
almighty.
since he was 18, so yeah, he's going to be he just got turned 36.
And what was
in
it over
December,
the
so.
last 7 or 8 years? He's been involved in the championship finals.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Except for this year.
8 years.
Well, okay, this year's one
Yeah.
of the rare occasions.
He
but,
ain't going
you know.
this year.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, listen, if he could come back healthy, I mean, this is an NBA talk show, but if he comes back healthy, he could definitely turn the team around and they'll bounce back.
So can I say something?
Sure.
Fucking 2 wins in the month of January.
Hey, listen.
You almost had the one against the Penguins, and then the third period happened.
I know that pain, man.
2 wins.
Third period. Ooh, it's been a
2
nightmare,
wins in the
too.
month of January. 2 wins.
Who were they against?
Minnesota
Wow. Okay.
and the Devils. So I got that on Dean.
Yeah, there you go.
I
You
got that on Dean, so that makes me feel a little bit better. But 2 shutouts,
Ugh.
like 3 1-goal games, 1 2-goal game. These guys aren't playing for Carlisle anymore. They've given up.
It was like when Berube was the coach of the Flyers, and
Great
they just didn't
Berube.
give a fuck. They were like,
He was so bad.
fuck it, who cares?
How do you
was
get
so
shut
bad.
out by Edmonton?
One of the worst teams right now in the West.
Yeah, they're sitting 7th. They
You
actually
lose
just
in
fired,
overtime.
their
You
GM.
lose in overtime to Ottawa.
One of the worser teams in the East.
Lose 3-1 to Detroit.
Detroit's been playing okay this year.
They're
I'll
still,
give-
but they're kind of still in rebuild.
And then you get smoked by St. Louis.
Yeah. St.
Yeah.
Louis has been a
This
very
music
weird
is very
team.
fitting because I'm very sad right now.
I think
Hence
we-
why he's got his Philly shirt on now. He's already thrown this season away.
Don't you start.
I'm just-
No, that's not why. I was just
I
watching.
wasn't talking about the Phillies. I was just saying he's.
Oh, you were.
Don't you do it.
What? What am I gonna do?
It's just because
I was
it's a-
watching baseball tonight and
Broda,
I got all
Broda,
hyped up. I'm like, you know what, I'm
it's-
gonna wear a baseball shirt.
It's just because it's a McCutcheon T-shirt. You know,
Oh, that's
the
the
only
other
reason
reason,
why
too.
Mikey's going off. We know that's the reason.
Why'd I turn on my mic to point? I don't know.
This is what we get the sign guy to do. He makes gestures behind the camera.
Oh boy.
Good times.
Oh god. But anyway, I digress. This fucking team.
Boy, that could be that could be the label of both of our seasons. This fucking team. That's pretty much the way we should probably put this whole season in. This fucking team. That's it. That is what we are going to label our playlist on YouTube. Hockey Happy Hour, but in not air quotes, actual quotes. This fucking team, and that'll be. There we go. We'll go from there.
All right, enough of this crap. Cut that.
It's of course, we would have to have. Nah, I don't want to cry and gritty. We have to have somebody else crying. Maybe.
All right, so
we have Drew crying. He's done it before. So.
well, I'm not going to read that comment, but I'm going to read Ralph's. Ralph. Flyers need to dangle Drew out there for teams. It's time to move on. Great regular season player, terrible postseason player. You know I'm right. Just say it.
No, you're not.
No, hold on, wait. It gets better. It gets better. It gets better. He says next week's show title, "This fucking team," which is true.
That is true.
It's
Okay,
true.
I will
I like
agree
it.
on that one. You got one thing right out of that whole statement right there. But
He's
applying
only
squirrel
30.
fights-
He's
But
only 30.
Hey,
listen, I get it. Hold on, Ralph. I get it. He's the most valuable asset on this team. Yeah, I'm not reading that one. It was that. Yeah, I'm not reading that one.
I just have to read it.
You can read it. He's 30 years old. He's still young enough. He could build a team around. Like, come on. I get it. He's got the most value on the team. He didn't get the most sent back, but
Sorry, I read that comment. That was funny as shit. That's a good one. I think he's won that. He's won the comments so far for the day. Congratulations, sir.
no, I'm not thinking about it. I was gonna poke fun, but I'm not gonna.
It's okay.
It's about tucking. Let's go there.
No, I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about. Never mind. Let's move on.
You were talking about Ralph?
Let's move
Oh,
on.
well, that's a whole image we don't need. So please move on.
Yeah, that's a whole image you just put in my head, you asshole.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. I
God.
totally got his ass nice. Perfect.
Bitch.
Enjoy sleeping tonight.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Thanks for the nightmare. Oh my god.
Mike,
Can we please move on?
Yes, I told
Please.
you move on. You're the one who got that stuck in your head.
God. All right, what's next? Please, let's go.
All right. Is there any more comments available
Nah,
for the
no,
YouTube?
no,
All
no,
right.
no.
All right. Facebook's good too, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, with that being said, I believe it's time we take a quick gander here at what the Flyers got coming up on their schedule right here. We already did a quick preview of their first week out of the All-Star break. They have a Monday night face-off with the Winnipeg Jets. Ooh, that is not a fun game to greet you after taking a week off. You're like, hey, welcome back to playing, guys. By the way, you get to face a team that could possibly get their names on the Stanley Cup at the end of the year. Have fun, shithead. Enjoy the ass whooping. But
They always seem to play Winnipeg well, though. And
They
that's,
do.
That's the craziest part
Yeah.
about it.
that is weird, too. Even when we're playing like shit, it's the one game you know you're going to get a good game out of.
Well,
I
it's like-
don't understand why.
It's like I said earlier, man. It's they play up to their opponents, and now they're out of the fucking playoff spot. God damn it!
Well, look, there's that big red number.
It's
What's that
one
say?
thing
Minus.
Fuck! I didn't realize the goal differential was that bad.
What's a goal differential?
Minus 33.
Holy shit! Whew. That's probably not nearly as bad
All right,
as
so
Philly's, though.
I
secondary
think
scoring.
Philly's like minus 14 or 17 or something like
I can
that.
find
No, there's no way we are that low on our goal differential.
Minus 30.
Oh,
I was gonna
so
say-
it's even worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say no way in hell is
Better than
Phil-
ours.
I was
But
giving
still-
you something.
Yeah, you were. And I appreciate it, but I was just like, no way is Philly a minus 13 with the games they've been playing. Absolutely not.
We are 3 points out of having the worst goal differential in the NHL, and we are we're essentially a point out of the playoff spot right now.
That's sad. A
But
team
you're
that
only
lost
a
12
point
straight
out.
Goes
games.
to show you how good Jonathan Gibson is and how much he keeps
Well,
us
I
in
mean,
these
there's no
games.
doubt if this guy isn't on a team,
How
they're
weak some of
nowhere.
these teams in the West are. That shouldn't be weak, by the way. I'm looking at you, Edmonton. You know, I mean, what the fuck?
Well, Edmonton's ahead of Chicago and LA, so I guess I'm happy about that.
Oh, well, whoop-de-fucking-do. They're the third worst team in the fucking West.
Hey, Arizona's creeping up on you there, bro.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, please, do not do that,
No.
dude.
Oh, and they got a
Yeah,
game on
out
you,
of-
or you got
out
a
of-
game on them.
Out of all the things that could happen this year, you cannot let the Coyotes jump you. That's just an
We
immediate
can't even
moment.
beat them either.
How the fuck does that happen? That's terrible. You
Where's
should
all my
be able
Ducks
to-
faithful to help me feel better? Where
don't
you
know.
guys
They
at?
do.
I don't know. They've been kind of MIA right now.
I mean, do you blame them?
I was gonna say
After that
MMA.
game last night, no.
But anyway,
I'd be in hiding too if I could. But
besides that,
I'm here with you guys.
Here I am.
yes, it's such a chore. But
Some days it is.
like today.
Like
But-
today.
But anyway, we also have a Tuesday night matchup.
Is it time for baseball yet?
No, don't put that evil on me. I call that SummerSlam time. But anyway, with that being said, Tuesday night matchup the Flyers will have after their Wednesday night confrontation with the Winnipeg Jets. They get to travel from Philly, where they'll play Winnipeg, up to Madison Square Garden to face the New York Rangers. Big division matchup right there.
I love watching those two teams play. It's always gritty.
It's
always,
good. It's definitely gonna be
Yeah.
gritty. Yeah, it definitely is.
It's always gritty.
it's always
Yeah, I know.
gritty. See what I did there?
Yeah, really intelligent. Very smart. I bow to you and your comedic wisdom.
Whatever.
Oh, and then after
Hey,
that,
Berto, you want to switch?
No.
No.
I don't think he wants to be in that chair.
Come on.
Maybe.
It's not even the chair he.
Man of little words, folks.
But when he says it, he means it.
Yes, he does.
It comes straight
absolutely.
from the heart every time. But I don't even think that's Brodo's chair for when he does the fix.
Nope.
Yeah,
That's it right there.
you got to
it's-
keep.
No,
it
he
fair.
was there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it is that. Okay.
Oh, wait, that's Noah's share when he's not sleeping before the show.
That's
Or during.
or dur-
That's right. He did do that during the show, didn't he?
Goodbye.
By the way, if you ever wanted to see,
not
admit or
deny that.
if you have not been watching all of the shows on a2dradio.com, it's time for some shameless plugging here because let me tell you right now, man, nothing is more enjoyable than watching the sign guy right behind the board get beyond pissed off at one Mr. Ralph Delafecchio, who we got pissed off with about a moment ago. And also when Mr. Noah Eaton goes on a tirade. You do not know joy until this happens. Just letting you guys know, please feel free on Wednesday nights to check out The Fix. It's
At
absolutely
6
hilarious.
o'clock.
At 6 o'clock. You will not be disappointed.
I'm not necessarily sure that's always enjoyable though. Watching that, watch him getting all red, his veins poking out of his neck, maybe one or two out of his forehead.
But he's young. You don't have to worry about anything happening, so it's different. It's fun then, If he was like in his 50s, then it's like, all right, then there's a little bit of worry, obviously. But he's not, so we're okay.
Ryan is just staring you down right now.
Why?
Are we talking about me or Noah?
Noah.
Both.
Oh, okay. Oh, I agree. Anyway.
With that being said, though,
So anyway, click.
back to the Flyers continuing their return to hockey. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we talk very little hockey on this show. Thursday, when we do our shows, when we supposedly talk about hockey here on Thursday night, the Flyers will be in Boston to face off with the Boston Bruins. Oh, God. And that's going to be right smack dab when Lazy Booking returns to the airwaves, because that'll be a post-Rumble show, so that'll be fun. And
There's another plug. Lazy
yeah.
Booking Thursday nights. It's usually at our time.
And with that,
Yeah, we're flipping that, Chrome.
Yeah, Crum, you're out on that one, bro. You're 10 o'clock now.
I was going to take a shot. I'm not.
he just resisted the urge, but it was so tempting. So tempting. It was right there. But
Bring it on, brother.
but that's going to be interesting, because while Lazy Book is going on, the Flyers will be playing Boston. So it's like, shit. I got to multitask and remember the Rumble if I'm not too drunk while watching it. Hopefully. Hopefully I will remember some of it.
I feel like watching that stuff nowadays, you have to be drunk to get through a full. But anyway.
How do you think I do? But anyway, with that, then finally, to end their returning week, they have a Saturday matinee at 1 o'clock facing off with the Edmonton Oilers. So, out of all these games, the easiest one, which will probably be the only loss that the Flyers will probably take, is against the Edmonton Oilers at this point in time, because that's the usual common Flyers mentality.
It sounds like something they would do,
Yeah.
Don't lose in like dramatic fashion, like a stupid penalty at the end of the game, and lose 3-2 and
to the
I don't
fucking
know.
Oilers, either in overtime or in the shootout or some shit. Be
I
like,
don't want to hear it. We got shut out by Edmonton.
Hey,
Well, at least Dean took a shot here. So the Flyers should be happy it's the Jets, and they don't have to start with be happy it's not Tampa.
I take it that's who the Devils come back with. Just asking that for you, Dean. I'm not sure if that's who it is, but I'm assuming that's.
it might as well be Tampa. We still have to deal with someone who could
well, I thought he was
possibly.
taking a shot at you because you said you were playing Tampa out of the break, right?
No, I'm saying right now if the playoffs
Oh,
were
it's
to
the
start
playoffs.
right now.
Okay, so
we
yeah,
would,
it must.
They
must
no,
be
I,
playing-
I think we're. I think the Penguins come back with. Whatchamacallit? They come back with the Devils actually Monday night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I got to wait a whole
So-
fucking week and a half to
That's
watch
who we
some
play.
pitiful hockey.
So that should be fun.
Oh, by the way, our teams are facing off real soon.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that. It's been forever since the last time that they actually played each other.
I know.
It's all it's very back heavy as far as the Flyers Penguins rivalry goes as
Yeah.
scheduling.
As of
Which I
most
think
of
is
the
good.
rivalries, actually, because we haven't really faced the Rangers that much this year. We faced Boston already at least once, and we faced the Devils, I think, twice.
There it is. Monday, February 11th is when we
Yeah.
play each other.
So that's gonna be a fun day.
Is that the outdoor game?
No,
No.
that's not until the 16th or something like that. Let me see. I don't know exactly. Nope, it's not the 16th because we played Flames and then we played the Rangers on the 17th. So
Oh,
I know is it the 22nd?
Maybe.
No. 23rd. The 23rd of February is the outdoor
Hey,
game.
we got it.
Missed it by that much.
It's about time.
I knew it was in February. I just wasn't sure.
Oh, that's
When it
gonna
was.
that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be
It's
real
gonna be.
fun.
Hey, it was the last couple of
Yeah.
outdoor games have been pretty fun to watch.
You know,
so.
one of these days, we're just all going to go to watch the Penguins face the Flyers and just see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen.
I
one
just
of
want to
these
see an
days,
outdoor
you know?
game. I haven't seen an outdoor game in years.
I haven't had the chance to.
The one I was looking forward to was this year between Boston and Chicago with the Notre Dame Stadium. fucking work.
Ew.
Son of a bitch.
Doesn't that suck?
It's always the good ones. I always catch the bad ones, like Detroit and Toronto. Although that wasn't really a bad game. That was actually a
No,
pretty
it
good
wasn't because Toronto pulled a victory out of the jaws of defeat there with good old
Game. That was
Austin
a good game. That was
Matthews.
actually a good game in Ann Arbor.
That was the moment that you realized how much of a stud Austin Matthews was if you hadn't already, because he single-handedly.
Well, he said.
won. Yeah.
He said, "Hi, I'm here." In the
Yeah.
first game, and said,
He did, but if you were asleep, which if you're a hockey fan, you were asleep when Austin Matthews made your debut, please turn in your card. But if you're like a casual fan, if you had no idea who Austin Matthews was, you found out that day because he single-handedly beat the Detroit Red Wings that day.
he single-handedly beats a lot of teams.
True.
I love
well,
that guy.
Matthews' debut was one of the best debuts by any player in the history of the NHL. So
Yes, it was.
four goals?
I mean,
Was it
yeah.
4 goals?
4 goals.
Yeah.
4 goals.
I mean, his pretty much rival's probably a Wayne Gretzky debut. That's for freaking sure. At least in
It was
modern.
better than a Wayne Gretzky
Yeah.
debut. It was the best debut of any player. No player has ever scored 4
But
goals in their NHL
both
debut.
guys shined. The 1 and 2 between Matthews and Laine that year was definitely one of the better draft classes.
Oh, they're
in the
still
past
going
couple
back
years.
and forth.
Yeah.
So, whether Detroit, Toronto got Austin Matthews or Patrick Laine, it's not going to matter because they're both phenomenal franchise-changing players.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Toronto and Winnipeg actually wound up in the finals, where you have two of the best rookies right now in the game facing each other?
I think that would be pretty awesome.
That would be a fun Stanley Cup final. It would really come down to Freddie Anderson and Hellebuck and see who would outlast who, really, at the end of the day. That would be a wild series.
Solid defenses on both sides. Morgan Riley on Toronto leading their core, and I guess it's still Tyler Myers.
I can't think of anybody
Defensive
else at
core.
the moment. Yeah.
Oh, Dustin Byfuglien.
There we go, Bufflin. There we go.
Durr.
I forgot. I hate him
I need to wake
How
up.
did you forget?
because I tried to drum him out of my memory,
Sure.
like most people that I hate.
He injured one of my fucking players in NHL 19. I was a little mad about that.
Damn it.
I was mad.
Like I said, I tried to fight him, and he wouldn't fight me.
Really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of how Bufflin is. And also, I just hate him because he actually, hurt the Flyers in real life. But anyway,
Real life, I kind of wish my team would get hurt a little bit more often. Jeez. Although I'm not happy about Andre Kashuk being out for 5 to 6 months with a torn
Ugh.
labrum in his
Yeah,
shoulder.
that's not good.
man,
He's
your
been
team
one of
has
your
just
better
been
players.
taking it up the ass this year, like so bad. Like
Yeah,
really,
they're getting pegged.
Mm,
If you understand the reference.
I think most people do.
big time.
So
Just saying.
with that is what the Flyers are going to be welcome to. What do you guys got coming up when you guys return from your All-Star breaks?
Well, as I said, we got the Devils on the 28th, right out of the All-Star break, and then we have Tampa Bay.
Ooh,
So
fun.
and you know what? We never play good against the Devils, but this game's in Pittsburgh. Maybe it'll actually show up. And then I'm not sure. I forget what I read. I don't know if the game's in Tampa Bay or if it's in Pittsburgh, but that should be another good game. So
It's going to be.
the last time it was the battle of the backups. I believe Dominguez or Domingo, however you say his last name, was the goaltender for Tampa, and it was Dave Smith for the Penguins the last time they played. So
Backup freeze backup. That's
Yeah.
always fun.
yeah, so I mean, I questioned the last time Dave Smith was in net because Murray's been playing pretty damn good recently, and then they put him up. Who did we lost to the Knights? I figured it should have been Murray versus Fleury, and they went with the
It
Smith,
rhymes.
and the Smith
Yeah.
put up let up 7 goals that night. So yeah,
The Murray Fleury controversy.
yeah.
Who
I
really-
figured why not?
Who got screwed over in that expansion draft?
Both teams won in a sense. I mean,
Technically, though, the Penguins still won at the end of the
There's
day.
quite a few players I'm willing to give up in the expansion draft next year.
couple years.
Next year.
Yeah.
2020, going into 2021.
Yeah, I really wish it wasn't Fleury that we lost, though. I would have definitely liked a tandem of Fleury and Murray, but it doesn't always work out. So
Oh, well.
Nah,
It is
I
what
mean,
I
it
wish
is.
they
was-
could have taken a no-name guy like some of the other players that they took in that draft. And it's like, oh, okay, you could have.
I think they still
taking
would have
that
done what
guy.
they did anyway, regardless if they took Fleury or not.
Yeah,
Really
I
doesn't
mean,
matter
he was
anyway,
the best
because
they
goaltender
built-
available.
No,
so.
absolutely.
There was a shit ton of guys that they got and they kept on their team, but at the same time, they traded a shit ton of guys anyway
Yeah.
for
Wow,
a bunch
as
of
soon
fucking
as they were
picks.
drafted,
So,
they're
you know,
like,
Trevor
Oh,
Van
okay.
Riemsdyk was one of them.
Yes.
They took him from Chicago, and then they traded him to Carolina.
Yeah.
And now he's been playing in Carolina the last couple of years. He's been pretty good.
Yeah.
in a Hurricanes uniform.
Absolutely.
So,
We need defensive help.
what
Hey,
about you?
Chrome, what's up? He says, "My guys, what's up, fellas?"
What's up, Chrome?
Since we
Hey,
were
Chrome.
just talking about him, we're taking this spot now, Chrome. It's official. We got a pen and paper, and that's how it's gonna work. So
Yep, I'm actually signing the contract right now.
Yeah.
Here
I
we
believe
go.
it says 8 p.m. Thursday
8
nights.
p.m. Thursday
Okay.
night. Yeah, look at that.
And by
Look
the
at
way,
that. So weird how that works.
Hashtag. Never mind. I'm not gonna read that hashtag. There
and
we
Chrome,
go.
by the way, Brodo's here to notarize it, so it is actually official.
I like Dean's comment. Hashtag John Merrill. Yep. What a win for the Devils there. They got rid of their best trash. Yeah, I don't know about best.
we got rid of some trash, but we also lost a little bit of a gem too in Shea Theodore. But I hope
Yeah.
they enjoy Clayton Stoner and his $5 million contract. Was it $5 million? Maybe it was a $3 million contract, but
Either way, though, you had to be stoned to sign him. So,
especially with a guy with the name Stoner, who didn't play a fucking game in Anaheim.
Nice.
I mean, I think weed is legal in California. So, I mean, honestly, he probably dabbed a little bit. I would. I mean, why not?
Just because it's legal in California doesn't mean you could do it. Oh, no.
That kind of is the definition.
I'm not being a part of this one. Frank Vespi, trash.
I saw Bruno go for the mouse. I knew something was coming. That's why I said, oh, no.
It doesn't matter anyway because it's pretty much almost damn near legal in Jersey anyway. So what's the controversy? Moving on.
Yeah.
but-
Let's not talk about that. Frank Vespi, trash. Hockey edition, Joe Thornton.
I know.
but his team's doing well.
I've never hated Joe
So-
Thornton.
I've never hated Joe Thornton
That's
either,
the
and he
thing.
plays in my division.
I've never hated the guy. I've always
don't-
kind of respected him.
I
It's
don't
just-
know.
He does what he does. He does it cleanly. I love his beard. I hope he grows it back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Brent Burns has got that pretty
Yeah.
much locked and
He's just an
sealed there.
ugly guy.
He
Brett
is.
Burns
But
is
that's why
just
he has to have
ugly.
the beard because usually the ugly dude's got to have
Yeah,
that
but he
big
has no
giant
teeth
beard.
either.
But that makes
really
it
doesn't.
perfect. He's a hockey player.
He looks like
he's-
Chewbacca.
He's a hockey player who, in the offseason, he's either a lumberjack or a Viking,
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, he's got everything covered. That's what you have a beard for. What
crazy.
what
Cover
other
the
job?
ugly.
would you
Crazy
have a
what he's
beard for?
been.
So what? Never mind.
What
I'm
he's
not going
become.
there.
But
No.
no. You don't have a beard like Burns does. Burns, I mean, he's got the neck growing all the way down.
The neck.
Like,
He's got the
Dan-
full sweater.
Yeah, I
going
mean,
on.
like,
It's all connected. It's one big
He
hair
could-
piece.
all he has to do is dye it like that teal color that they have for the jerseys and the black too, and he can actually knit himself his own hockey sweater out of his beard hair. Guaranteed he could do that.
Hashtag Jumbo Joe should eat Ryan's Jello.
Okay, that might get added to the rice jello on the email.
He's leaving, guys. He's
Oh
leaving.
no, we lost sign guy.
No.
I can't wait until we get like a little like spy cam over here just to see what the producers' reactions are alive on the air.
That's
Oh,
actually
that
not a bad idea.
Wait,
That-
so my face is going to be hovering above all of you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
just to see what your reaction is to the comments when we bring you in.
I feel like that's best for off camera. Reactions to things Frank says. It's not a bad
all
idea, though. It's not a bad idea.
No, I don't think so. Especially if it'd be really funny if like a producer's not paying attention and the host could totally catch them while they're doing it. That'd be really funny to see
true.
on air.
It's true.
Ah, all
Okay.
right.
All right. I like this one. Joshua Carrillo. I hope I said your name right, Josh. He's runs his own little YouTube channel, which
Oh, cool.
unfortunately I'm not gonna put out there. What do you guys think of Randy Carlisle and the Duck situation? What trades need to be made?
Well, you could answer that fully.
All right. Well, this is gonna. They need to fire Randy Carlisle right now, not tomorrow. Actually, fucking yesterday.
You've had
Just-
that plane tick. You've had
Yeah,
that-
he bought
Probably
that
for about
so
2
many-
months.
Yeah.
He's back
Probably about 2
ticking
months.
that freaking thing.
2 months ago, they need to fire this guy. They're not playing under him. You can tell that they're not playing under him. They have no sense of urgency. There's no system that the Anaheim Ducks are playing that is working. They need to bring somebody in that has a system and that can really utilize Ryan Getzlaf and his ability to lead this team, which he's doing the best he can, but he's pissed off. He's frustrated, as he said last night after the St. Louis game. And the fact that they're still in playoff position is beyond me.
Yeah.
They
it's
should
a
not
surprise.
be.
Well, I mean, that's the moment where that's your saving grace. If you manage to salvage the season, it's because of the fact that the West decides to not have a competitive wild card right now.
It's crazy that Vancouver right now is a point better than we are.
Vancouver's been another team, though. I mean, Elias Pettersson he's been doing great.
Yeah, he's been hurt though.
So, but yeah, he comes back from injury though and scored a goal the other night. So.
Now, as far as the roster situation goes, I'm glad that Corey Perry's skating with the team now. He's still involved in non-contact drills, but he's skating. He's getting ready to come back soon. He'll probably be back in March. So that's a plus. Hopefully he can get going. Hopefully they have a new head coach by the time Corey Perry comes back, so that way he just doesn't play well in the Randy Carlisle. As far as the trades that need to be made, they desperately need secondary scoring.
Real quick though, was Corey Perry on the Stanley Cup team?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been with
Him
the
and
team
Ryan
since
Getzlaf are the
03.
only two left that are on that team that are
But-
from the Stanley Cup era.
That's the weird thing though, because that was coached by Randy Carlisle, was it not?
Mm-hmm. But he was also a rookie.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot. All right, keep going.
Yeah. All right. So keep in mind they're my age, so they're about 32, 33 years old.
Gotcha.
Him and Getzlaf.
Okay.
As far as trades, they need secondary scoring. They need to go out and get a guy. And I wanted Nino Niederreiter. Unfortunately, he's probably not available anymore. Guys like that to fill in like specific roles. Get Jakob Silverberg back under contract. Maybe he'll start playing a little bit better. Shore up the defense a little bit because they've been playing real shaky as of late. Cam Fowler, I know he's just coming back probably about a week ago. He's probably still got some rust to shake off. He made a couple bad plays in the game yesterday, one leading to a goal by Vladimir Tarasenko, who's another one I would like to see in an Anaheim uniform, but you're going to have to give up a lot to get him, and I'm not necessarily sure we have all the assets
I don't know. I think
to go and get him.
I think St. Louis might want to just rebuild around him.
St. Louis is having a fire
Yeah,
sale.
but
Even they're saying he's available.
Really? Because I would just build around Tarasenko.
That's what they said a couple
honestly.
weeks ago is that they were
If
on
the
the
deal's
fire sale
obviously if the
train,
deal's
but,
right, they're going to deal him, but they're not going to
Yeah.
try to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a couple first round picks, prospects, and a player. You
Right.
know,
I
so-
get that, but I just like to me, it's just like I know I'm going to get good shit because I have good players. So it's like I don't know. You just kind of keep Tarasenko there as that guy who's going to kind of lead the next gen of Blues. I don't know. That's just
Well, I
my
mean, you're looking
interpretation of
if
it.
you're looking at the team right now, St. Louis in the standings is fourth from the bottom in the West. 49 games, 22 and 22. So they're playing 500 hockey.
But they've been
They just
playing
don't have
better.
they don't have a good offense.
but
They've
that's
been
the
playing
thing,
better
they've
of
been
late
playing
though.
a lot better
Well,
recently. So
Yeah, but it's definitely not the same team from like 5
No.
years back. I mean,
But this team needs a lot of changes. I think if things don't go well this year, it's time to start making some realistic, maybe some bigger
What they
changes
said,
to the roster.
what was it? Who's the guy the defenseman for them that they said that they were going to move? Is like the number one.
Oh, Colton Parenko.
Parayko, yeah.
So
I mean, he's a
that's
guy
that's my take on it. I'm secondary scoring, defense, and yes, they need to fire Carlisle ASAP.
Absolutely, yeah.
oh,
It's just I don't think you should even let a team once you get to 12 games in a row. I mean, it's like, all right, come on, coach. I understand the situation in Anaheim. It wasn't the best at the time, but it's like
12 in a row. You got 2 wins out. You have 2 wins since that 12-game losing streak.
yeah,
And now you're on another 4-game losing streak.
yeah.
hell,
so-
It's time to change.
I'm really surprised that your GM didn't get fired for that because
He
my
just got an
GM.
extension.
But that's the thing, my GM got fired for that too. So it's like it's just shocking because when you think of it. But then again, though, the line was pretty much drawn in the sand in Philly. It may not be so much in Anaheim. He may want to get rid of Carlisle. He just hasn't found a suitable replacement yet.
Just
for him.
real quick before we go to break, I want to get to this question that Josh sent. He said, what about trading Ryan Kessler? A little up in age. Love Kess, but it's about winning. And I'm totally with you, Josh. I would be okay with trading Ryan Kessler, but I don't know if his contract is really appealing to anybody. He's what, $6.5 million a year
It's
cap
up there.
hit?
It's
Yeah.
the same thing as if you were to do it with Flyers.
And
and
he's
Jake
about the
Voracek.
same age
It's-
as Getzlaf and Perry. So
Yeah.
he's up there.
Listen,
I don't see
he's
Kessler
a great
going
asset
anywhere.
to the team as long as he's healthy. I mean, a lot of his time in Anaheim, he's been hurt.
And that's the other thing too is there's no, like I said, there's no system in Anaheim. There's no system in Anaheim, and nobody's benefiting from it.
Again, though, maybe it's the fact that maybe the GM does want to fire him, but the thing is that he hasn't found that suitable replacement. Maybe he can't get. Maybe he's looking at Quinville, but he can't get Quinville under
Well,
contract.
Quinville's not coaching this year. That's already
but
been
that's
out
my
there.
point. Maybe that was originally his idea, but now he's thinking, okay, I need to find an interim for the time being. Maybe he hasn't found that interim right now. There could be a number of reasons why he is still currently behind the bench, even after a 12-game losing streak. So we don't know. We really don't know.
Nope.
But we will head to break. And when we return, we will go through the standings of the NHL and officially see where all of our teams are. Spoiler alert, 2 of them are not very good.
Really?
Well, not good for standards, but me, just straight out not good. Because you guys have high standards.
I do have high standards. Thank you very much.
Yes. I mean, also I have high standards for the Ducks too. So, and then...
You'd be the only one.
Really? I'm the only one who sees them repeatedly making the postseason over the last, 7 years? But anyway, with that being said, when we come back, we'll go through the standings, and we'll see where everybody is right now. And we'll actually take a look just for the shit of it. If the season was over, it was a locked-out, shortened season, where the fuck would everybody be right now? And what would your opponent be? That'd be fun to do once again, because I don't know why. Because it's the All-Star break. Let's have some fun. That is on the other side if you are watching on the YouTube. However, if you're watching on Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, or on
We're
Facebook,
cutting you off.
tragically. But never fear, there is a link in the comment for you to click on in order for you to watch the rest on the YouTube. So if you are watching out there on the social medias, hit the link, join us for the rest on YouTube on the other side. This was brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. You can give a call at 215-369-3300. Tax season is almost here, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, if anything, it's kind of here already if you want to file early. Even with the government shutdown and everything, the IRS says they're going to pay those tax returns.
They better. They took it out. They better give it back.
Give me it.
They may be delayed, but they said they would.
Give me the money.
So all I'm saying is, do yourself a favor. Don't let the government snag more money from you than necessary. They already take enough during the entire fiscal year as it is. Do yourself a favor. Go to Gibson Mayer. So that way, you get all the money you deserve back in your tax return. And that way, you don't feel like you got gypped by the end of tax season. You're like, oh my God, I actually feel like I got my tax return this year. Awesome. If you go to Gibson Mayer, that'll do it. So be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mayer. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on ATDRadio.com. Join us on the other side. If you're watching on the social medias, click the link and join us there. And if you're on YouTube, we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the Real Talk Studios right here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. This is the Penguin Lover, Michael Klankoff.
What up?
I'm Matt Tsutsuti. That's the Darkwing, Brian Daly. Behind the board is the sign guy, Mr. Ryan Brodo. And we are brought to you by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs, located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. You can give a call at 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com.
Yeah, it is.
That could legitimately be like the bed of like a chase scene in an action movie, like a really bad Jason Statham movie.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember Temple Run?
Yo, what a game.
Oh, yeah.
What a game. See, now us millennials know about that.
I know about Temple Run.
Shut up. Old ass motherfucker.
It's tough being the oldest one in this group.
I love you.
Don't touch me.
Come on, Dad.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Come on, Dad.
I'm trying to put the MVP back in him.
Oh, this is Papa Klankoff. Hey, Papa Klankoff, what's going on?
Yep.
Oh, so besides us torturing,
I'm going to go jump on 295 real quick.
Without my vehicle.
Oh, with that, besides Brian's attempted suicide, it's time for us to talk about the NHL standings and seeing where everybody
it
is currently right now. And if the season ended today, just where the hell would we be?
On vacation.
Yeah.
Golfing.
Yeah, that is true for
Hitting
me.
the links.
Psych.
Speaking
Oh,
of which, I need to go golfing. I got a lot of frustration I need to
Yeah.
release
Tension
onto
to
a...
get out.
That's why you go to the driving range first. Get out all that frustration.
Mhm.
And then you go play a real game.
I
like
like it.
Madden.
I
Nah,
don't play Madden that much, actually.
Madden's ass.
I don't know. I don't play
NHL, come
Madden.
on, man.
Mhm.
I haven't played
By the
Madden.
way, we still
I've
need to play
never
each other,
really
just saying.
played Madden.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always down.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm never home.
we'll stream it.
Actually, I'm never home, so you know what? Fuck it.
We'll stream it. No, absolutely. Ooh, maybe we could do it live on the air one day.
Ooh.
Not on this air, but we'll.
Not on this. air.
Not on the show. No, no. I'm just saying.
No,
not
why
on-
not?
Nah.
You know how many people would...
David
You know how many-
Roscoe would like it. But
All
It's
right.
like he had something to say.
But, you know, the words escaped him. Happens a lot. Escapism. It's a very bad disease.
Gotta focus on producing. Focus on producing. Focus on producing.
Keep my eyes down on the table.
Just gonna go like this the rest of the night.
I'm just gonna stare into the blank void that is this Mac screen. Because nothing is going on right now.
The face was like,
All right, so the NHL standings. On to the Eastern Conference. What do we got here? So, as we roll into the Atlantic Division,
did you see that?
that's what I was talking about.
Fuck.
That's what I was talking about.
with
What, is something on the floor?
no,
But it's like, what? Where?
House.
Where are you oh, you're pointing at the
Pointing at the
computer.
he's
computer.
pointing at the
Computer
computer
screen.
You
screen.
look like you're pointing at the corner. I'm like, what's on the ground? What is it coming
I
in?
need to know.
Should I put my feet up?
I need to get to higher ground now.
Well, I mean, there is a kind of vermin that would come out of the closet if they found out this little factoid, but it's not the kind of vermin that you kill with traps. It's the kind of vermin that shows up when you shine the light on really brightly,
Cockroaches.
basically.
So Cowboys fans?
No, more like, you know,
I mean, that's a fair assumption.
it is a fair assumption, but this fan
Thank
base
you.
kind of shares a fan base with another team that can be, it's borderline roach-like, so, you know, if for hockey standards. But anyway, to the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division. By no shocker whatsoever, the Tampa Bay Lightning have number one pretty solidly right now. It's 76 points, 37-10-2. God, who would
Crazy.
kill? I would kill for a record like that right now.
Their goal differential is plus 59, by the way.
Christ.
It's disgusting.
Good
I'm not
God.
talking about that right now.
They
It's a
might
little
finish
bitter.
as one of the best teams of all time, like points wise.
They just haven't been
They're
able
on
to
pace.
get. They just haven't been able to get the job done when it comes to the playoffs. That's their biggest problem.
Yeah.
Because they keep like being the number 1 team in the Atlantic. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, don't you know that the number 1 team in the division usually doesn't win?
True.
Do yourself a favor. Let Toronto take the number 1 spot once.
Yeah.
And that'll be the year
That
you
might
win the
help.
Stanley Cup. But anyway, second place team, no shocker, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow.
62 points
Yeah.
currently right now. However, right on their ass is their old original 6 hated rival, the Montreal Canadiens, at 61 points in third place currently right
That's
now.
a big time shocker this year. I mean, but a lot of that to me has got to go to Carey Price. I mean, he's actually been pretty healthy this season, and he's standing on his head. So I mean, hey, give it to him.
Yeah, very, very true. All right, then. And moving into the Metropolitan. This is where things start to get a little hurtful. Number 1. This is where the roaches come out, folks. The New York Islanders are at the number 1 spot in the Metropolitan Division at 63 points. You know how
Wow.
the Islanders let's be honest here. The Islanders fan base is really kind of substituting with the New Jersey Devils fan base. We all know this. Most of the Devils fans have now switched to their Islanders jerseys because it's safe to be them right now. It's not safe to be a Devils fan at this particular moment in time. So the Roaches have come out to play. We'll see how long the Islanders can hold this spot. But they're at 63 points right now. 29, 15, and 5 is their record at this moment.
Phenomenal.
Wow. Yeah.
Told you. I mean, as much as I hate the guy, it's just Barry Trotz is a good coach. I mean, it's proven.
Yeah.
He's working with these young
Oh,
guys.
No,
and
absolutely. This is proof right here.
it proves that John T is not worth $9 million.
Yeah,
Because
Matthew Barzal might be.
Toronto's in the same spot they've been with or without him, and the Islanders are better this year
Goes to
without
show you,
him.
maybe the problem wasn't the Islanders. Maybe
Maybe
it's
it
just
was-
the head coach.
Yeah, head coach or John Tavares. I mean, I don't know. No,
I don't think Johnny T was the problem
I'm
at
just
all.
messing. I'm
I know you
I'm
are.
just being a troll right now.
Let's
but
just say the front office was
Nobody
pretty
likes
much in
trolls.
general for the
there's no
longest
doubt.
time the biggest
Absolutely.
issue.
Absolutely.
All right, on to the number 2 spot in the Metropolitan. That is currently owned by the Washington Capitals, the defending Stanley Cup champions, at 60 points.
No, that's horrible.
Currently in the division standings, 27, 17, and 6. However, though, if you had told me the Islanders would be top of the division, not the Washington Capitals, I would have told you were high.
I think
but,
I think we
yeah.
all saw that coming.
No,
Yeah,
none of us
none
did.
Of us did.
No.
I think I had the Islanders like 5th or
I think I
6th.
had the Islanders like 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have them high at all in
Yeah.
general. Next up, in third place, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Not a massive surprise that they're here. They're
No,
definitely
that's-
worthy of the spot.
That's right about where I had them.
Yeah, and they are currently at 59 points, 28, 17, and 3 right now in their record. Oh, by the way, goal differential for the Islanders is a plus 25.
Yeah.
But just look at the staggering difference, though, between Tampa and
Oh,
the
it's
Islanders. That just shows you the staggering difference between one division leader and the other division leader. Which basically also means that the lead that the Islanders currently have right now is not necessarily safe.
No,
at this
the
point in
Metro's
time.
been a
Yeah.
lot more competitive than the Atlantic
Atlantic.
has been. So
Yeah, so
I can't.
we'll get to
It is
the West.
ridiculous.
Don't
No,
worry.
I'm not worried about the West. It's just the fact that the New York Islanders are playing as well as they are,
I know.
losing their captain, the heart and soul of that team,
And
Yep.
somehow,
and Matthew Barzal has stepped in big
Big
time
time.
and filled those shoes. That's amazing.
Do you think Matthew Barzal was slowly like feeding Tavares? Take the deal with Toronto. Go. Go away.
please, this is my team now.
Yeah, I want the spot.
Anders Lee having the captaincy, I think that's been a huge help for the Islanders to get them to where they are.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
And they're playing tremendous defense too, which is something that Barry Trotz likes to, he likes his teams to play defense.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right. And now we go to the wild card spots. And currently in the number 1 spot is the Boston Bruins at 59 points, 27, 17, and 5. And then literally 1 point behind them right fucking now is these motherfuckers right over here, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yay!
26, 16, and 6,
Boo.
58 points.
I mean, in reality, too, the Penguins have 2 less games than the Caps, so if they won those 2 games, they'd be in second place. So, just throwing it out there. Just,
All right.
just thought I'd say it.
We get it. We get it.
Just saying.
Your team has won 2 cups. In the last 5 fucking years.
So who would have thought that Montreal would be sitting in third place?
Nobody.
I predicted them to be the worst team in the East.
Yeah,
I
definitely
didn't predict them to
see
be the worst in the East, but I did not think they were going to be third in the Atlantic. I thought they'd be in the middle at best. I thought they'd be middle pack.
It makes me wonder if the things I heard about Max Pacioretty being in that locker room were actually true, about him being a cancer and a bad teammate and a bad captain and all that stuff. You get rid of him, and now you bring in Max Domi, and the team turns around like that?
Yeah, I would have never expected Domi to be a guy that
Well, I'm
was
sure
gonna turn-
Jonathan Drouin has had a lot to do with that.
Drouin's been doing good, too. I think he's up to 18 goals this season, so.
Carey Price playing really well. The defense is playing even better. I think Shea Weber's close to, if not already back.
I'm not going to comment on that because I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
I'm not 100% sure either. I know he's getting close, though. But, hey, I mean, I didn't see Montreal playing as well.
No, not at all.
No. So with that, we have our set of what it looks like if we were to have a short-out lock season. And the teams that would miss, the Buffalo Sabres and the Carolina Hurricanes are currently at 3-4 at 54 points. So they're competing right now to try and get that second spot off of Pittsburgh. They're behind, though, by 4 points currently. However, though, if a small losing streak was to hit the Steel City, it may not be beneficial for them because Buffalo and Carolina are right there.
Oh, yeah.
The New York Rangers follow them at 49 points. The Florida Panthers follow them at 48 points. And then a little bit of a steep drop-off, 3 points behind them, the Detroit Red Wings. 1 point behind them, the fucking orange and black, the Flyers. Wonderful performance, gents. The New Jersey...
Good job, boys.
Yeah.
Good
You
work.
guys are 8th in the conference. You did such a spectacular... just in this standing alone, you are 8th. Congratulations in the wild card. You did a spectacular job. The New Jersey Devils are right behind us with 43 points, and tied with them is the Ottawa Senators for the bottom of the barrel.
Which is
worst of the
actually
worst in the
is
East.
the worst team in the league, actually.
The Ottawa Senators.
Ottawa Senators and the
Devils, they're
Yeah, it's
tied
just
for
that
the worst
Ottawa
in the
has
entire
2
league.
games on them, so that's why.
Funny how quickly they fell off, too, from their Eastern Conference run.
Yeah.
What, 2 years ago
2
now?
years ago, yeah.
What, the Devils?
No,
No, Ottawa.
both the
Oh,
Devils.
Ottawa.
Devils being a
Oh,
playoff
yeah,
team
that's
last
right.
year, and
I forgot. Yeah, they went to the
Eastern Conference
Conference
Finals and
Finals.
lost to Pittsburgh.
and it was in
Double
7
overtime.
games, right? Was
Double
it?
overtime, Game 7.
Yeah.
Oh my
Holy
God! Was
shit.
my heart rate high as hell that day? That was. I remember it, and whenever I just go on YouTube every once in a while, and I'll just look up that video
You just-
because I'm just like,
you-
oh
you-
my God!
every day you look in the mirror, you're just like, thank God I'm in shape.
Thank
in other
God, Chris
words-
Kunitz.
Yeah.
Because that backhand pass from Crosby, and it was like a weird shot that Kunitz took. He was off balance, and it just fluttered right over Anderson. I felt so. I honestly respect Anderson a lot, and I felt so bad when that happened. So
I go on YouTube the Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals in 2007 to make me feel better.
yeah,
This monstrosity of
it's
a
always
season.
fun just watching anybody celebrate when they win the cup, except for Ovechkin. So
Well, when Timu finally raised it, I teared up. I'm not going to lie.
Well, what Timu did, yeah, that was a good day. I will say.
Hello.
That was a good day. All right. So in
Hi.
the West,
Okay.
we currently sign guy is waving to us right now. In the
Flagging
West,
us down.
we have the Central, and currently leading that division. No real shocker here, the Winnipeg Jets, but they're tied with the Nashville Predators, both at 64.
yeah, but you know what though?
currently.
Nashville has 4 games on them too. So that's bad. They
That
have
is
they have
rough,
the
yeah.
most games played in the league this season. So
Yeah.
Well, they're tied with a bunch of teams in the West. San Jose is at 52. Vegas is at 52.
Yeah, there's a few. Minnesota is in third at 55 points, so nothing really moving or shaking in
No.
the Central right now.
Pretty weak,
kind of
actually.
the same 3 that we pretty much saw in those division standings last year.
There could be some movement, though, with the wild card, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Meanwhile,
Oh, yeah.
in the Pacific Division, we have Calgary at 71 points, by Christ, by crikey, they are just absolutely crushing it right now.
I mean, I knew that they were going to be a big jump this year. I didn't think that they'd be leading the West right now. If by the All-Star break, if you were to tell me that, I'd probably think you're on drugs. But
Bill Peters is showing that maybe he wasn't the issue in Carolina after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Very, very true. So with that, Calgary leading the division at 71 points. The San Jose Sharks right behind them at 65 points. The Las Vegas Golden Knights still coming off of a Stanley Cup Finals appearance with a Western Conference title. 62 points in the standings. The Wild Cards, currently the number one spot belonging to Dallas at 52
Surprising
points.
to me.
However, it's a three-way tie because the second place team is Colorado and Vancouver is on the outside looking in.
It's literally just games played, too. That's what it is. It's what it comes down to.
Pretty much. Behind them, on the outside looking in for Vancouver, by 1 point is the Anaheim Ducks, but it's only by 1 point.
I mean, you're 1 point away from being a wild card.
We
so.
can't fucking win to save our lives right now, so it doesn't matter.
So what? My team can't win to save your lives, and we're at the bottom of the fucking
Hey, think
barrel,
about it.
so
With the
lighten
12-game
up,
losing streak, you
please.
still have more.
12-game losing streak, 2-game winning streak, and now we're back to a 4-game losing
And
streak.
you're still competitive, though, in
and
the
you still have more
conference.
points than the Flyers.
Yeah, so you know what? I don't want to hear it.
By what, like 3?
7.
Yeah, you're well
They
ahead
have
of
40.
me right
Flyers
now.
have 44 points.
Yeah.
Now.
For
You're-
now.
For now,
now.
but still. Anyway, next following behind them is the Arizona Coyotes by 1 point at 50. The St. Louis Blues and the Edmonton Oilers behind the Arizona Coyotes by 1 point, 49 points both. Chicago behind them, my God, the mighty fell. 45 points in the standings currently. And the Los Angeles Kings at 44 points. The mighty definitely did fall. Dead freaking last in the Western Conference. Who would have thought that 3 years back, that those two teams would be bottom of the barrel in the Western Conference?
Lose for Hughes. Let's go. Just tank it.
With that being said, before we send this one home, if we were to throw it into the machine and see where everyone would draw right now, the playoffs would look like this. The New York Islanders would be facing off with the number 2 seeded team, or no, number one. So they'd be facing Boston. The Tampa Bay Lightning would be facing you guys.
I don't like it. That's a 5-game series right now.
And not in a good way for you.
No, not at all. I would take Tampa, no doubt.
Meanwhile, you have Washington faces Columbus. Oh, there's a good old matchup.
It is.
After
It
what
is.
happened last year. And Toronto versus Montreal, an original 6 matchup in the division. I almost hope that happens, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, because that would be fun to see.
Toronto comes on top there.
Yeah, they definitely do, but still, that'd be a fun series to watch. With that being said, in the West, the Calgary Flames would face the number 2 wild card. They would face the Colorado Avalanche. And the Calgary I already said that.
And the Calgary, they also just going to be playing the
They're
Dallas
play
Stars
Dallas and Colorado
at the same time.
We're going to have a 3-way
They're
fucking
gonna
series.
they're gonna have a split squad.
Oh, my God. That would be crazy if that ever happened. Winnipeg Jets would be facing off with the Dallas Stars. Meanwhile, in the division, in the Central, it would be the Nashville Predators facing the Minnesota
It's
Wild.
just a boring series to me.
It would be exciting like 3 years ago, right? But the Pacific Division, you would have San Jose versus the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Now that's a fun series to me.
That is because you got to wonder, could the Sharks survive Vegas in playoff mode? Because when Vegas got into playoff mode, no one was fucking safe after
Oh
that. No one was safe.
Meh.
Maybe. Who
Meh.
knows?
Meh.
With that being said, folks, that will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. If you do want to catch the All-Star Tournament, it does start on the 26th. So if you are interested in watching it,
Saturday
you
night.
can catch it. Saturday night, 8:15 if you are interested.
Skills competition's on at 9:30 tomorrow night as well.
So late.
San Jose. Don't be a little
Well,
vagina. You can,
that's not
9:30
accommodating to us East Coast people.
Oh, it's only 9:30. Stop it. It'll be
But
over
it's a
by
Friday. I
11:30.
gotta be in bed by 10.
You old man.
Boo-hoo.
You say I'm the old one.
With that, we will say goodbye to the Hockey Happy Hour faithful. We will also say goodbye to the Flyers Nation, the Ducks Nation, the Penguin lovers of the world,
Yay.
who all came out of the closet the moment that they won that cup.
Yay.
Those two. But for all of us here, this has been the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com. I'm Matt Sensuti. This is the Penguin lover, Michael Klankoff. The Darkwing, Brian Daly. The sign guy behind the board, Mr. Ryan Brodo. We were brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, located at Cherry Hill at Burlington and Princeton, New Jersey. You can visit them at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. And also Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza. And you can find them at www.scanzanosports.com. We thank you all for joining us. We will see you next week at our regular time instead of the 8 o'clock time.
No!
For reals, we are doing the 10 o'clock as Lazy Booking is returning to
Got the contract right here.
A2G. It's imaginary. Come on.
Shh, they don't know that.
Kayfabe's dead. Live with it. With that being said, Lazy Booking will return. We will go back to our 10 o'clock time, so if you do want to catch us, you'll have to catch us then. But stop in to watch Lazy Booking for a post-Rumble show. But that's next Thursday, and we will see you then right here on A2DRadio.com. Peace, everyone.